Every week, coming to you live at the BPM podcast with your host, Lake. Baseball Media.
Greetings. Hello, all.
What's up?
Here we have Lakey, myself, and also King Q. We have the founder of MaineStreet Productions,
Wagwan.
Base Pop Media, and also the Healer Tree. Interesting. Very multifaceted, I must say.
Yeah.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, just chilling, dope vibes all day long, so really just riding with them.
Absolutely.
No other worries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have you here today because I want to focus on MaineStreet Productions.
Okay.
So you're a record label that is located on the east coast of the U.S., specifically the upstate region of the Carolinas. In particular, what area is that? Would you say Greenville or just the entire upstate?
So we basically run service to the entire upstate and South Carolina as a whole. So when it comes to, you got Georgia right under us, you got North Carolina, a lot of different parts of it. We just work with a lot of different people, provide a lot of services, even from the aspect of recording, mixing, mastering, all that good old stuff when it comes to song making. But when it comes to like sound venues, events, concerts, we do everything for that too. So the entire, upstate region, South Carolina, and this part of the East Coast, we just do it.
Okay. So what outside of the region here in the upstates, what makes MaineStreet Productions stand out more so than other labels in the region? Like, what's the secret sauce?
What makes us stand out more is really our quality.
Okay.
So, I can, I'm gonna kind of, break that down or whatnot a little bit later on, but, really, our quality, and we got a fetish for quality.
Yeah.
Because, we got a fetish for whatever is attached to us. It has to be good,
It's gotta prosper.
Yeah, so even if it's somebody else buying a service and like that's just that one moment in history, and that moment is never gonna, happen again. Like, service done, here you go, thank you, see you later. Our name, we still did it. Our name's still attached to it, and as long as MaineStreet Production is attached to something, quality. So
okay.
Yeah.
More so of a legacy than a label.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That's nice. So is there an overall mission at MaineStreet Productions?
Overall mission. Yeah, it is, but you know what? It's kind of classified. It's a little classified, but yeah, so make sure you don't tell nobody all of this.
It's a secret.
But
I won't. Lips are sealed.
But yeah, but overall, I can say that, again, with our name being attached to everything, and we got a passion for looking good. Like, who wants to look bad? Like, that don't mean we gotta be on top. That don't mean, we gotta be the forerunners and just like the image of the century. We don't gotta be all of that, but we gotta look good in what we do. So us looking good in what we do gonna automatically mean that anybody we work with is gonna look good in what they do if they work with us. So the overall mission is to make everybody it's to make sure all of the work that's done and provided is done in a fair manner. It's also what makes us stand out differently than other record labels or whatnot. So you got the whole, a lot of independent artists and everything nowadays. People don't like to go to record labels because,
they've been given a bad name.
Yeah, and a very bad name. I mean, especially now, it's like 2021. And very, very bad name, to a lot of them, because you always kind of see an artist, after X amount of time, everything good, but like 5 years later, it's like, all right, hold on, something ain't right, and something ain't right the whole time. And then now they're trying to, break loose, and now you just see everything kind of, shooting up what always was wrong, what's, it's like this horrible now. So, if we can make sure that everybody who works with us is all, done fairly and the best possible that we can do, and everybody win, then that's the goal. That's the overall goal.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So the reason, so as far as in the most recent years, I've noticed that record labels, for sure, as we just stated, have been given a bad name because of the ownership and control that they seem to have over artists, which in turn, many artists are choosing to stay independent and not sign. So what exactly is your take on that? Let's go a little bit more in depth.
Well, yeah. So, like I was saying, it just, I mean, look at, like, you got Sony, you got Universal, right? I mean, when you think of them names,
very popular.
They monopolize. They ain't just popular, they number one.
Monopoly.
Yeah. So you got Universal, like, when you think of radio station, all right, what songs do you hear? A hot 85% on the average top 100 radio station, all from Universal. So they just run the game. In a country that monopoly is really illegal. Now, it's not monopoly, they're just the biggest, They're the biggest. There are plenty of other record labels that got hundreds and thousands of artists too, because it's a lot of artists.
Right.
But they just run the game when it comes to which TV commercials getting what music played, behind which ad. It's probably from Universal. It's probably from like one of those, Sony. So it's like, they're super huge, and now you're talking in the corporate, level of industry that's art. It's like, my goodness, how do you turn some art into something like that? But they control it so heavy that it goes beyond the music, even though it starts from the music. So since it's going beyond the music, everything else that they deal with and do, it requires money. Well, in order to get more money, it got to come from somewhere. And that's where it started to come from, the artists. So it's like bad record deals. And I will also say this, a lot of record deals, they bad, but it's all written down in the contract, and they do all got the same opportunity to read it. So
it's like 5,000 pieces of paper, but they, of course, for sure have the opportunity to read it.
And the thing is, it's actually about 50.
Yeah,
it's about 50,
I was close.
which is 1-0, but or maybe 2.
Right.
But it's like, it's what probably myself. I would say myself. I came. I'm black, just like a whole bunch of us in this industry type of music. That's number one. Our music is number one because it's the most listened to, the most used,
the most influential.
Yeah. So it's like going back, centuries is how we got to look at it at this point. You got 2 groups in this country. Well, you got 3 groups, but when you think of just the whole historically wise, there are 2 main groups in this country, and there's a lot of like, for instance, when it comes to reading. We know that it's a fact that, a lot of us and a lot of our people don't read as much as, the ones who brought us here.
That's right.
So it's like, that, like I said, that goes centuries or whatnot. And that's the big issue right now. So at this point, we got to understand, if we want to do business, it's very essential to read. It's very essential to read everything. Like, when do you drive down the road and not read the name of the exit that you need to go down?
Right.
Like, you want to read now? So it's like, reading is very fundamental, How do you know when your gas tank is on E if you don't know to read that the letter E is the letter E and the letter F is letter F? I mean, it's very important. So at this point, we got these contracts that really do say, hey, we're going to take all this money from you, and this is what you left with. And if you do this, you owe us this much. If you do that, you owe us this much, blah, blah. We owe you this in this case, but you probably never reach that level. And, just all of this stuff that make them keep all of that money. So
in a sense, it just sounds like artists under these labels don't have independence at all.
It's not.
Because independence, as a quote unquote artist, you want to have that freedom. You want to be able to express yourself and get a message out that you personally feel needs to be provided into the ears that are listening. But to feel like a company or a label has ownership over you, that's not fun at all. So it's just like, these artists, they get so excited to be involved in such a huge name record label that they completely disregard the paperwork and the contracts and the terms that are hidden underneath, and they're caught in a one world of disaster.
Yes, disaster.
So it's like, you know, let me give you guys a little example. Like, this is my personal take on it. It's like telling a kid who's obsessed with their PlayStation 5, hey buddy, I'm gonna give you your PlayStation 5 and you can have it all night long, every day, all day, but you gotta do chores every day. They hear the part about having the PlayStation, but they don't hear the part about the chores. So you're asking them, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, you got to read the paperwork for sure.
And, you know, just like you said, it's definitely an entrapment kind of, you know. It's that's clear. The way you put it, that's so perfect. It's like, man, they know these people that they bringing in, like I say, full of talent because these guys, you know, actually painting from their actual minds and, you know, and
their
everything like
intentions are
that.
pure to come in.
Exactly. And they bring them into this place they never been in, just like lights and design and like, so they awe them with all of this, you know, just design of a place, of a room, of a, you know, and then when they bring them in, they hit him with the conversation that sounds just really, really good from this guy who got $1 million. That's all they know. If they got $1 million, I'm about to have $1 million. And they hand him a piece of paper, and it's like, oh, here's a piece of paper. They don't say, oh, sign it right now, but everything else just kind of already, you know, be like, oh yeah, man, it's already yours. Like, just here you go. All you gotta do is turn, and boom. And then they just immediately, all right, where at? Boom, right there. Where at? Right there. Boom. Everybody celebrate.
Game over.
Exactly. You know, pop some champagne, have a little party. You know, go like everything like that. And then 3 years later, they're like, wait a minute, I ain't never read that thing. And it's very important that every artist read everything. And that's another thing here at MaineStreet Productions. Like, we will literally, like, what we do when we so artists we sign and whatnot, because again, we a record label, we operate the same way so far as we have a contract that got to be signed if work's about to be done. You know, that's everybody that do anything in any kind of business.
That's
period.
right.
So, but we basically give you the entire contract, and we tell them read every word. Like, so at that point, if they still choose not to read after we tell them read every single word and they don't, then that's 100% on them. Aside from that, when actually time to sign it, we still sit and read every single part of the contract. So our contract signing is like hour and a half long,
very
probably
extensive.
2 hours. Yeah,
As it should be.
And that's how it. And that's every other level. Everybody else that work in that record label, I mean, when they were signing contracts to get their job and, you know, to become an A&R and all of that, they meeting was 2 hours long, 3-4 hours long, but for the artists, it was 5 minutes.
That's right. Because what job can you start without completing orientation for a whole, like you start a job and you have an entire 9 to 5 day of orientation. You got to go through the paperwork and the protocol and the practices. And that reminds me of, I'm super glad that she got out of the situation that she was in, because she's a very talented artist. But Meg Thee Stallion, she was in a situation herself where
bad situation.
She looked at these people as family. So business is business as well. So when it comes to thinking that people are your family, sometimes you can't really look at it that way either, because they're looking at it as business, but you're looking at it as an actual person or relationship. But unfortunately, they didn't want her producing any music but for their label.
Exactly.
So she wasn't able to venture out until she got everything rectified. But it does make sense. So reading that paperwork is super important. So what do you actually say is the legitimacy of a record label? Because so many people have so-called record labels nowadays. That's what I want to know.
Everybody got one, right?
Right.
And you got be like some little cat, he be like, yeah, this Lil ABCENT, you know, and just like, you know, it's just a Facebook post. It's like, man, so funny story. It was this guy, and started working with him, and everybody know me. Like, everybody know me because a lot of people hate me.
You're King Q.
Because I'm King Q, and I'm straightforward, and I only tell the truth. Now, people say you gotta filter something, you know, just like just when to say something. So I'm working maybe, but it's like, man, people hate the truth.
Yeah.
And this guy, he came, and we was doing some work together. So we chopping it up, talking everything. And he told me, the name of his entertainment. Like, for some reason, everybody say ENT on the end of everything.
Yeah.
I'm like,
entertainment.
You even know what ENT stand for, man? Like, you probably know what it stands for.
Do I have it wrong? Is it entertainment or what is it? Oh, okay. Okay.
And like I said, it's just the sound ENT. Everybody just want to say such and such. So he told me the name of it. So I'm like, all right, cool. And as he talking, we just going on, and I'm on my phone. And I'm basically looking up all of the LLCs or whatnot. I'm looking up all the business entities. So it showed me, it sticks for one, it show you whatever one. So I'm like looking up in the filings. And I'm, after he talked for a little bit, I'm like, hey, bro, I didn't see you came up in the business filings. And then he's like, what? And I'm like, what'd you say the name was? So he told me. I'm like, yeah, like you ain't come up in the business filing. And it wasn't a, calling out. It's the thing is, if you want to associate yourself with real entrepreneurs and real business owners, like this is what we do.
Right.
Like we talk about our companies and what we're doing, for the people, what we are servicing, like everything. So I'm looking, just get more information so I can know more about him, as he should be doing the same thing with me.
Yeah.
And boom, it's just something he just I guess thought of one day and just started posting a post like, yeah. See, matter of fact, man, you go on Facebook and you can put like where you work at and everything like that. They put boom, see everybody's CEO or something.
Yeah.
And then they like just put whatever this thing is. Right. So I'm like, there's the the line between what people just kind of dream of and what people actually done. So when you talking a record label, you talking about what's been filed, you talking about what's for real.
Right, you got to protect the brand.
Yeah, exactly. You got to protect the brand, because like if it's just a dream, it's like dream is cool, but if you never manifest the dream in the actual reality, then you just sleeping.
That's right.
To see your dream, like that's it. So man, a lot of them, like they'll have a group of people and everything like that saying the same name, and it just none of it just saying stuff.
Yeah.
So I do urge people, hey, go look them up and see exactly, Google them, like stick them in Google. If they legitimate, put their name in Google and see what come up.
See what comes up.
So man, yeah, they bunch of frauds.
Right.
But,
the authenticity.
The authenticity, I hear that. The authenticity.
Yes. Thank you.
But man, yeah. But it's 2021.
It is 2021, and I feel like everyone's duck should definitely be in a row by now, because if it's your passion and you're at a point, it's not necessarily old enough, but wise enough to know that this is what you're chasing in life. Protect your brand, you know what I'm saying? Because you're gonna eventually, if it's truly like your craft, your passion, people are gonna come under your wing and they're gonna follow you. And what do you look like having 10 people, 15 people who are not protected under you and your name? That's not fair for you or them. So yeah.
And then when something get caught up in the actual business,
then what?
Then they try to.
Who's responsible?
Like who are you? Like you.
That's right. So, is there any work from artists that we might know coming from MaineStreet Productions, or update us?
Yeah. So there's a few. One in particular, I'm actually say there's an Alicia Keys remix or whatnot that's about to be released.
My girl, with her
we,
beautiful natural self.
Yeah. So it's a song we all know. Once it comes out, very, very, very fortunate to actually be able to get, our hands on one of her projects.
Yeah.
One thing I always said, so as y'all know, I play piano. And,
absolutely.
I've been playing since I've been 12. And around the time I started playing is when she came out. And I'm just this little introvert, antisocial, just on my piano. And when I would see Alicia Keys, I'm like, yo, that was my wife. So I called her my wife for a very long time.
Manifest.
I'm like, hey, switch on, hey, bro, you better step aside, bro. But you know what I'm saying? That mine right there. But I'm like, because all her songs, like she came with her own style. Yeah. Nothing complex. It's like, boom, play a piano, do your talent, in all of your music, and like everything she would play, I would learn it exactly, you know.
Yeah.
And she taught me how to, you know, just play different ways I was, you know, playing, man, like. But yeah, very fortunate to be able to get, you know, those project files or whatnot, the actual, you know, raw files, and like nobody get those. So
that's an amazing experience.
Oh yeah, very
exhilarating.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and especially you're already in tune with the piano.
Exactly. So I'm definitely gonna, you know, integrate that, and you know, we gonna basically treat it the same thing we do everything. So our process here at MaineStreet Productions and is the same. So every studio, when you think of a record label is basically well, the term first came from, you have an LP or whatnot, or like you got the turntables, you put the record on it, put the needle on it, start spinning. Well, in the middle of that LP is the actual label of the song. So that was the record label. So that's like where the term first came from. And it basically, you know, it shows that, you know, that name encompassed everything that was being experienced at that point. When you listen to that music, I mean, you put the needle on, and you let that sucker ride you in the house. You know, it puts you inside of it. But a record label, you got artists, you got the musicians, you got the studios that create all of this music. Like, it's the overall thing. And some record labels, I would say they're missing certain elements. So some they only manage, so they just a management group versus, you know, a whole record label. They might have a group of artists, they might be, you know, doing this, that, but artists, you know, a lot of those situations, they still got to go do their own. Like there's a few artists that come here, MaineStreet Production, in our studio portion, and they get all of their, you know, stuff recorded, mixed and mastered, all that kind of stuff, because their label doesn't do any recording, mixing, mastering, nothing. They just say, hey, y'all with us, let's go do stuff. And you know, if that's what they do, that's what they do.
Yeah.
But so MaineStreet Productions, we from A to Z, you know, so recording, mixing, mastering, publishing, distribution, even to the actual concerts and the venues and the shows, and we provide the sound for them.
Very multifaceted.
Exactly.
Nice.
We record everything, and our process, it starts with, you know, quality, and that's the one thing that a lot of people skip over. So our first step, and there's just a few steps, and I'm gonna just break them down real quick. And most people say, when you go in the studio, what's the first thing you do? You record, because you need, you know, sound to actually be able to, you know, work with, right? So I'm like, well, that might be your first step, but that's not our first step. Our first step is quality. That's it. So first step is quality, second step is recording. So when it comes to making a song, go in the booth, the recording, second step, with the first step being quality, means that every step is on top of the step before it, which means everything under it is going to be a part of, you know, what's on top. The top thing is just a collective of what's under it.
So you're building the full sandwich here.
Exactly.
Nice.
You know, and
not just giving them the buns.
And man, they just start with the middle of the sandwich, and, you know, try to, I'm like, what?
I need the whole thing.
Whole thing.
The whole experience.
Exactly. So we started on quality, which means the recording is done first, which means you have quality recording. Well, you gotta have quality recording when it comes to, you know, actually leveling the mix and everything, because if the recording wasn't quality at first, then the mixer never sound actually level, because it wasn't quality. And the software we use at MaineStreet Production is basically, it's the highest quality recording software in the world right now. So right now the world only knew 32-bit float. So 32-bit float is basically the resolution of an audio file, like how much data each sound wave has in it. So our software do 64-bit float, which is twice the quality of any software that ever existed. So it's like we recording at the highest sample rate, recording at the highest bit depth, and we're doing it all on top of quality. The next step, we go to our mix. Well, we got to do a good mix from a good recording that was done with good quality, and now you got a high quality mix. At that point, after that, we do mastering. So mastering, again, everything before it, because every step only enhances the next.
Yeah, for sure.
And that, like, I apply that to, like, not even music, like
all
everything in life, like everything.
I'm sitting here thinking, that's
like,
right.
Nah, because I'm just like, man, like, yo, that really just, the next step only enhances the last. Like, you can't, like, you really can't fail, algebra with a 20 and then try to go, to the next, like some straight out, trig or or like pre-cat and try to get a 90 in it. It's like, you just like fail the heck out of one level that was really a foundation, of the next. So and that helps our master becomes, the highest quality. So our masters, there's specific like numerical calculations that come with it. When you talk about the exact decibel level and the exact there's something called loudness unit full scale, or basically what everything uses. So you got radio stations, you got the television and film industry, and then you have the game industry. Then you have Pandora, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal. So you got all of them. There's exact numbers that your music has to be read when it comes through the system. So that is basically like -14 LUFS or -1 true peak. So specific, numbers, we able to get exactly what they need to be so that anything that comes through us is accepted on any platform. So if you're trying to, send to a movie, if you're trying to send to, just the radio station, like you gotta meet the requirements for them. Everything, comes through us. So, and we also are with Pandora when it comes to curating a lot of music on Pandora. So, we automatically know exactly what all of the specs need to be. So we're able to provide that. That probably about 90% of the people who master songs nowadays are not achieving. So that's why they get the bad quality when it's on Spotify, and that's why a lot of them, they don't get pushed to Pandora whatsoever. Because Pandora say, hey, it gotta be good or we ain't accepting it. So we able to hit a lot of those numbers, and just keep it moving, keep it good for everybody. And again, our name attached to it, so it gotta be good.
That's right. So MaineStreet Productions is full spectrum. Let them know
full.
Completely. And it's like a cake at a potluck. Like, you're gonna know somebody bringing a store-bought cake versus, you got all these people who cannot wait to try and taste this cake.
Right.
And it's like, whether or not someone bought a store-bought cake or whether they stayed at home in the kitchen, they worked hard and put all the blood, sweat, and tears into that homemade cake. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna want that homemade made with love cake for sure. That's more pleasing to the body for
made
sure.
With love.
Yes, and I had to refer it to food because I love food. You know what I'm saying?
What, you hungry right now or something?
Just a little.
I'm starving her. I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. So when I say MaineStreet Production, I have to know, what did the idea, like, what triggered the name MaineStreet? Like, where did this name originate
Where
from?
the name come from?
It rings a bell, MaineStreet Productions. And I'm just sitting here trying to think, like, what brought that name along?
Well, what's MaineStreet?
Like I-85, like a
I-85?
something that people travel
Man,
and are
everybody know
familiar
I-85.
with. That's right.
Oh, man.
Okay, so that was a rhetorical question that I asked, wasn't it?
Well, like MaineStreet.
Yeah.
No matter where you go, every place got a main street. Some places might call it First Street, but every town and every place in the world got Main Street. So I'm sorry, but we already a household name just by our name. So Main Street, spelled with an E, MaineStreet. So the E is basically comes from my middle name. So our middle name is Kwame. And
so this was meant for you. Yeah. You were aligned in the womb with this here.
Again, everything that attached to our name
that's right.
has to be good.
That's right.
So and that's why me as the CEO, I won't let it be no less because my actual name is on it. So it's like, MaineStreet, and then it's like, what do? We provide products, whether it's producing songs, whether it's, you know, for actual live music for a venue, you know, oh, we got musicians, boom, you know, fulfill the position that's needed at different performances or whatnot. You know, recording live concerts, making them into an actual live feed to be done on, you know, on live TV. I mean, so it's like, yeah, so MaineStreet Productions is just the biggest umbrella to cover everything.
That's nice.
So, yeah, everybody better beware.
Beware, you heard him. Mm-hmm. King Q is giving you guys the warning now.
That's the warning. I mean, I ain't playing no games.
Playing no games at all. So your overall mission at MaineStreet Productions, tell me about it.
My overall mission, like I said, make sure I believe this is just something I believe. All right, so real quick, I always believe this, but this right here was like the thing that like made it more like, yeah, that was definitely right. So I always been a believer that you can only achieve authentic. Wait. you can only get the authentic, you know, achievements if you do authentic work. So
I
like,
agree.
Yeah, so like recently, everybody, like, you heard about Clubhouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so everybody went on Clubhouse, you know, talking about Clubhouse recently. So me, I'm an Android user. I'm gonna go ahead and put that out there now. All right, I'm a Samsung.
Boo.
Hey, I ain't going nowhere. I ain't going nowhere. So I had this iPhone like literally laying under a pile of like books and, you know, rubble, and, you know, I had to go dig it up and everything like that. So I found this iPhone. So I'm like, oh, I need a charger now. I go find a charger and everything. But I'm like, yo, I've been hearing some good stuff about Clubhouse, and I've been hearing some bad stuff. And then I was like, me knowing how some stuff work, that means if it's good and bad, then that means there's two directions you can choose to go.
That's right.
And you know, that means a lot of people making a dumb decision to go into the bad direction. But I'm like, hold on, I at least got to see what's up. So got on and everything, got my invite from my boy. It wasn't even like, so I didn't even know you needed invites at first.
Yeah.
Went and got on there and everything, like, boom, put my name in. Yeah. And like, all right, cool. As soon as you get an invite, you'll be notified. I'm like, what? Boom, put the phone down. I'll be like, yo.
But you're low-key manifesting here. We'll wait for it.
I ain't even knew that.
Without
like,
realizing it.
It's like, I think sometime when I get real, like, antsy to be like, cause me, I create, like, in the instance, this long plan of logic on how to complete something. And right then, it just stopped. It's just like, oh, sorry, you need an invite. I'm like, what? Okay. So I woke up the next day, and my brother, Rashad, he sent me an invite.
Look, and you hadn't even talked to him.
Ain't even talked to him at all.
That.
And like, just, I'm like, yo, and
powerful.
Like, it's critical. Like, me and him, like we met a few years back or whatnot up here or whatnot. We both Hebrew brother and, you know, in blood. And but, you know, of course, from high up ancestry. So, you know, as every generation, people move, you know what I'm saying, throughout the entire country, all of that. And we met up, man. Perfect, you know, vibe and energy, you know, from my brother. And he sent me the invite. So I'm like, I woke up to it. I'm like, word. So now I'm like,
pick that iPhone back up.
I'm like the kid who just got,
Find
you know, like, I'm telling you know what I'm saying? I'm just like you wake up or something like how a girl be on the bed laying on the stomach with the feet kicking in the air, just like, like, I'm like, word, yeah, but I'm on Clubhouse now. Like, let me see what's up. I'm learning everything.
Yeah.
And I see these groups, and these groups are just, you know what I'm saying, like, the first group I went into, it was like CEOs helping CEOs. Like, that's all this. No, it was like entrepreneurs helping entrepreneurs.
Right,
that was
yeah.
the name of the group. And I just went in there. All right, who this is? I've heard of nobody in the group, but everybody in there is like a millionaire and has made like just a full revenue, like probably like, you know, 9 figures. You know, most of the people. And then you had a lot of the people came up in 2 years from absolutely, you know, nothing to like 10 million revenue, or like making like 1.2 mil on an opening day with a specific strategy they had or whatnot. and it's crazy. So I'm in this group, and they just dropping all this knowledge. I'm like, okay, but one thing ended up happening. They end up giving out it was 16 people giving out. They gave out $1,000, and it started from one cat who just randomly felt like doing it. Like it was about 3,000 people in the group.
Next time, ping me in the room, please.
I'm gonna ping you
Thanks.
in there. You gotta make sure you come, right?
For sure.
I don't got too many people that they in the ratchet rooms.
Yeah,
so
I know.
Yeah, I'm gonna ping you as soon as I hear about I'm telling
Sound
you for
on,
real.
notifications on,
and just randomly pick people from the audience and
Yeah.
just be like, all right, boom. Here you go, you won. What are you gonna do with your 1,000? And they just be like, oh, I'm gonna just do this. All right, what are we sending to it? And they just give you option PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo or whatnot, and boom, just sending these people money. And I'm just like, yo, these cats are I'm like, yo, they're really, actually for real rich. One guy, the main guy, his name Dan, and he basically his main business is selling Pokemon cards, and Pokemon, as everybody knows, is actually very freaking popular.
Very much
and
so.
if you find the right clientele, and this guy, he he was on one clubhouse room, and he was like, yeah, I got $40,000 worth of Pokemon cards in my trunk right now. I just drive around with it, and then he just just 40 grand worth of and they're really, really rich. And they really, really rich because they authentic in everything they're doing. They know what they're doing. And they actually love, for the most part, what I see with all of them is that they ain't playing nobody. They just for real. Like one guy,
genuine.
All he do is have these big what do you call them? You get the room at a hotel and get 5,000 people in a ballroom or something like that. They do all the conventions or whatnot.
Right.
And the smallest package he sell, you got to pay to come to the convention, which is it's starting off $1,000. And the smallest package he sell starts at $6 grand. And then the highest package he sell is $1 million. And that's coaching. That's it. You don't get it's just coaching.
Do I get my feet rubbed with that package or something? Is there a massage room to go to afterwards?
The information they drop, it's you take right back, and you probably about to make $1 million in 2 months.
So it's an investment that's well worth the input.
You will not find this Google. You got all the knowledge at your fingertip, but you will not find this information the way they're giving it. And it's the way they're giving it or whatnot. It's just so authentic. So it's it. Where I'm okay, now I see how y'all, in select few, a lot of them don't succeed at it, and they find that way, but it's almost it's built into them, in a way, and they all reach that 8-figure revenue yearly by being fully authentic, and I say all that to say, I'm the same way when it comes with my authenticity. And that's the only way that I can see MaineStreet Productions being, a household name. Our name is already a household type of name. So it's now we just gotta go to the houses.
Continue to strive.
Exactly.
For sure.
So, man, yeah. But that's gonna, that's, that's what keep us, working for everybody.
Yeah. And you never get tired because it's genuinely your passion.
Exactly.
Regardless of the cons, the pros in this type of business, or doing something that's your genuine passion to follow.
Facts.
The pros always outweigh the cons.
Always.
Because I know a lot of people get discouraged when it comes to trying to navigate their way through business and things of that nature. So it's super interesting to see that you here at MaineStreet Productions are one of the most genuine record labels we know. King Q.
Thank you.
It's interesting. And you are going very long ways very soon. Just have patience, of course, and continue forth. And it was very nice talking to you. I'm so excited to see your growth. I definitely listened to, and I know that sometimes you get in the studio and you're testing your gear and everything out. And it literally genuinely sounds like something I would play in my car. So when you say the quality of the music is what it is, I completely 1000%, I concur with that. Because like I'm like, okay, let me save this, and I might go play it in the car later because it sounds really, really good. Like it sounds like something that would. I wrote you once before and told you. I don't know. You get so busy, I guess you missed the message. But keep doing what you do, man. I'm loving it for sure.
No problem. Yeah.
So, thank you so much. Tell us where we can follow you because we do definitely want to stay tuned.
All right. Well, first go to Google.
Yeah.
Type in
Google me,
MaineStreet
baby.
Production. Google me, baby. Well, now I go Google me. So go to MaineStreet.
Yeah.
Productions. All right.
Okay.
You can put LLC behind that if you want. But MaineStreet Productions, Google it. Or you can Google me directly.
Okay.
KINGQUE. Just throw that in Google.
Throw it in. Either or. You feel like typing or you feel like typing.
Exactly,
Which one?
And a lot of y'all got a little voice button. Go and hit the voice button,
that's right.
But Instagram, King Q, _ King Q _ Facebook, King Q, Twitter, just type in King Q.
Household name, baby.
Yeah, exactly, or honestly, hashtag King Q, like everything, like every place like that. So yeah. So I'm just getting on TikTok.
Yeah. Have you made videos yet?
So I got on TikTok probably like this time last year actually. Made a song called Kobe Bryant. And I've been working on the song like the end of like 2019.
Yeah.
And then like,
were you live on Facebook? I hate to interrupt you. This was the song you were live on Facebook.
Probably,
I remember.
Yeah,
anyway,
probably
continue.
was.
It sounded so good. Continue.
Man, yeah. So it's like, when January came and, he had passed or whatnot, I was like, I gotta finish it. So like I finished it or whatnot. And that was the first thing I put on TikTok, and not knowing how to use TikTok whatsoever. Like the first was like no followers, nothing.
Yeah.
Got like 120 views, and I'm like, huh? Like where these come from? Like I got like one follower. It was like, and me being on Clubhouse, one of the women I was in the group with, she said basically she was on there like 6 months now, and she released a product from December right before Christmas, and she capped at like a little over 1 million right before January started.
Wow. Amazing.
So using TikTok, and again it's the algorithm, and again me having like one follower and I got 120 views just
Speaks
off
volume.
Exactly. So it's like this algorithm on TikTok is working. Like Instagram and Facebook, it's like it's already just so saturated.
Yeah, it is.
So it's
for
just
sure.
I'm sorry, if you ain't popping, you probably gotta pay for it.
That's right.
Or you gotta just get to that level first. But TikTok, so yeah, I'm really getting integrated with TikTok now.
Nice.
But
the guy with the iPhone is a TikTok now. What?
Oh, I got TikTok on the Samsung. Yeah, on both the Samsung. You talking about? I ain't using the iPhone for nothing else no more.
Nothing but your app.
Man,
that's interesting. And it's what a lot of people need to hear to stay motivated for sure.
Yeah,
because as you say, it's so washed up that people get like washed beneath the trenches or beneath the views, so they just don't post. But you just got to keep going, especially when you're genuine behind your brand. Like it's just gonna come to you naturally. So that's super interesting to hear. So we will be sure to all follow you on, and you don't have a Twitter, is that right? Just Instagram?
Yeah, I got a Twitter.
Okay, what's that?
_King Q _ I done told you.
King
Hashtag King
okay,
Q.
but we gotta know whether the underscore is there
King
or not.
Q 2021. King Q everything. Everything.
Nice. We didn't know that underscore though. You might have on some things you got the underscore.
So like somebody's been stealing my name before I could get to it. Cause like I will say this, I'm slow. Like, all right, so for one, I grew up a country boy.
Yeah.
All right, so country, I don't really like being behind a phone or, all this kind of,
But you got to.
Yeah, you got to, you know. So by the time I make it to anything like social media, like I heard a Clubhouse, like when it actually first came out, but I'm like, I'm seeing the ads, I'm like, that look aggravating. Like, and like by the time I got to it, boom, this username had been taken. I'm like,
Yeah.
And
that didn't discourage you though. You're protected for sure.
Man,
so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, because like when you look at me, like when you just type in King Q, like I come up anywhere and everything.
So they know. Yeah.
So and what a guy named Jacquees. Like they ain't gonna. So I guess they're using the listen. I come up better than you, my guy. All right.
You are hilarious.
So I'm the real King Q. So please drop my hashtag or we'll have a lawsuit over that.
Message.
I mean, I'm just being real.
Yeah.
But yeah, you know, just doing what it do.
Yeah. Nice. Well, we thank you so much for your time, your knowledge, your information. And we hope that you enjoy the rest of your year. It's prosperous for you. Excuse me, guys. I've been sipping on a little vegan wine that King Q introduced me to.
Man,
we're not going to tell you the name because every time we go to the store, it's sold out.
Man,
but
exactly. Y'all can't know.
I know.
I got a bone to pick with y'all.
A whole bone to pick.
And nobody knew about that till I said something.
Got to bury that bone under the ground for sure. Because these people are taking our stuff.
Let me...
Yeah, turn the bottle. They can't see us, but turn the bottle, guys.
But they might know the shape. I don't know. Just
too funny. But thank you so much for your time. And is there anything you want to say before we log out for the rest of the duration of our meeting here?
Well, I don't know. Is there anything else you want to say?
Inspire the people. Give them something to remember.
Something to remember.
A little motivation, a little inspiration to do what they're doing. Because, you know, a lot of people are more so stuck in a sense of knowing what they want out of life, but they just don't receive the right message or
all right, you know what? I got the right message for
give
them,
the
all
right
right?
message.
And this is my motivation for them. My motivation for them is motivate yourself.
That's right. That's a very strong motivational message.
Yeah, exactly. And
Motivate
they probably
yourself.
wasn't expecting that. See,
you gotta want it.
If you constantly wait on other people to get what you have to do done in any aspect, then you already failed.
That's right.
All right. So motivation, it's like, yes, you can go seek motivation from another source seldomly. Yeah. Very seldomly. But it should be enough motivation, because if what was in you is supposed to be this big, you know, steam engine rolling that's, you know, that's here to attack all of this stuff right here, then all you need is that little spark. That's and then boom, a spark, then gonna starts a forest fire. You know what I'm saying?
And once that ignites,
yes.
You can't be stopped.
Exactly. So if it's really in you, like, get that spark, and then after that, it's all you.
Yeah. So ignite your fire.
Ignite your fire,
fuel.
You know?
That's
like,
nice.
So yeah, and just let it burn. Don't let it go out. That's all up to you. You got to keep your own coal in your engine. Yeah. You know, the train going now. We was here, you know, to help start it up and get it going. Right. Like, now you off on your way.
That's right.
You know,
take off.
So for real, that's my motivational message to them.
Good stuff. Well, thank you so much again. We look forward to hearing from you soon, and we will definitely stay connected.
No problem.
And we are out, guys.
We are out.
Bye.